Hi guys, so I am coming in today because I've seen a lot of different messages and I've gotten quite a few about, what really got me to the other side with my body. How did I actually get to the place where I love me, I feel good, I've maintained the weight loss, I've consistently, taken care of me and shown up in this way. And how did I really heal from emotional eating, disorder, not even wanting to see myself in the mirror? So this message is for you, whether you have weight to lose, you have 5 pounds to lose, 10 pounds to lose, or 100 pounds to lose. It doesn't matter because the game is still the same. The struggle within you is still the same. So I know that there's a belief system around, well, once I just lose the weight, then I can. Once I lose the weight, then I can. And if I could just get the weight off, then I'll do then I'll start taking care of me. But I just need to get it off and I'll get on this other crazy diet and I'll do this and I'll do that. It's a perpetual hamster wheel of reinforcing that you're not enough exactly as you are. So when we're really looking at, well, how do I release this weight? Like, how do I actually get on the other side of this so that I can put my energy and attention into the things that I want most, so I can actually be present? So here's the thing: when we are dieters, it's very selfish in the sense that your energy is always about you. It is always, what did I eat? What didn't I eat? Did I work out? Didn't I work out? Oh my God, I overate. I'm so mad at myself. It's very obsessive about you. And it's a very isolating experience. So one of the number one things that I will say is, if you have a belief around once you get the body, then finish that sentence, then the work that you need to do, because I am somebody that won a fitness competition, International Natural Body Federation, and for the Northeast Regional, and I won Best Body. It did not make me a happy person. It did not have me love me. All my things were still the same. There was nothing that changed from that. You might think, oh, then I'd have the confidence, then I'd have the security. The confidence and security comes in the journey of who you become as you get to the other side. The confidence and the security comes from the repairing the relationship with yourself, learning to trust your body, learning to be at one with your body, learning to know that your body has all the answers, that your body doesn't want to carry around excess weight. Your body doesn't want you to be any heavier than you are. We are animals by nature. It's not looking to have to do extra work. It doesn't want to have to process after a binge. It doesn't want to have to process an overabundance of food. So when we really want to get to the other side and releasing the weight and getting on the other side of the struggle to really be empowered and feel confident and sexy and alive and want to be seen and want to be heard, right? What's up, lady love? It's imperative that we actually go, wait, one, am I willing to do that? Am I willing to go there? Am I willing to be with myself? Because what I find time and time again is the dieter. So if you've been struggling with your weight for more than a year, you do not have a weight issue. There is not something messed up with you. You have a relationship with food and a lack of a relationship with yourself. And as I say that, it might be like, ooh, but it's general. I mean, check in with yourself. Is that true? Do you like to be with you? When you are home alone, do you just turn on the TV right away or always be on your phone? Are you always listening to something, or can you actually just be with you and your thoughts? And if the answer is no, what are you afraid you'll find? Because in order to get to the other side of our weight, we actually have to recognize that mind and body, we are one and the same. And what I find with women that join my programs, that are programs that are specifically geared towards making peace with food, healing their relationship with food, and releasing the weight, is that they actually don't like their body, and they view their body as something separate. They're over here and their body's over there. They don't want to look at it. Many of them don't even look at themselves in the mirror. They don't want to go there. And it's that lack of connection that is needed. It's the lack of connection that's actually keeping you. It's the self-rejection. Lack of connection equals self-rejection. It's the rejection of self that's perpetuating the very thing that you don't want. So no diet's going to work. One, because diets don't work. Okay? Diets do not work. They never have worked. What's up, Michelle girl? They don't work. The dieting industry is $1 billion industry. Why? Because they're constantly selling you things that don't work. They actually plug into the magic pill concept, When, again, if you've been struggling with your weight for more than a year, it's not about weight. It's actually your belief system that needs to be shifted. It's your relationship with you, and it's learning how to no longer turn to food to cope with life. So if you are using food to cope with everything, right? Like that's what I did. That's why my emotional eating was always keeping the 10, 15 pounds on me, 10, 15, 20 pounds on me, right? Because I was never actually in a space where I was dealing with my emotions. I kept thinking, oh, well, if I just get the weight off, oh, if I just get the body, then I'll step into my power with my work. If I just get the body, then I'll step into this and I'll want to be seen. If I just get the body, then I'll be able to be more present to my man and, I'll do this. No, because the bottom line is the lack of the relationship with you is what's perpetuating your need to constantly be on a diet, because you are struggling with this need to want to control. So there is a lack of trust. So let's just go through a few things here just to simplify, because there's a lot to unpack. And I want to make this as easy as possible for things that you can start to do today. So 1, are you willing to get to the other side? You really have to check in with yourself. And you can sit there, you'll see. Are you really willing to be free from food? Do you really want to learn a new way of being? Do you really want to connect in with you? And are you willing to do the steps to become whole, to get to that process, right? Because it's a process. It's not, the magic pills don't work. That's why you gain the weight back. That's why the dieting industry loves it. You gain the weight, you lose the weight, you gain the weight. You're always buying something from them, right? If I could add up all the money that I spent on all the diets and all the dieting apparatuses and supplements and diet pills, and, if I could just do this, and if I could just do gym memberships, and I'll do this crazy cleanse and this boot camp and that workout. And that's where all my attention went, which meant I was perpetuating a story that something was wrong with me, that I was not enough, and that I needed to be fixed in order to have happiness. In order to have the things that I wanted, I had to look different. In order to have the things that I wanted, I had to be on the other side of weight loss. But I couldn't get to the other side of weight loss because my relationship with food, my coping with life, with food, right? That was the only way that I knew. That was my coping mechanism in life. So if you want to take my training wheels off, I'm petrified. I'm a petrified little girl inside this adult body going, oh, hell no, right? And that's what we keep trying to do. So every time you can stick to a diet for a short period of time, of course, yeah, it'll work for you for a little bit until your mind comes back in and goes, oh, well, no, and life happens, and then it pulls you right back to food. And then the spiral begins, and then you beat yourself up, and then you promise to go on another diet, and then Monday comes and you start over again. Right? So how do we break this? 1, we recognize, are we willing? 2, we recognize that it's more than just dieting, that there's actually something that we're getting from food. That food is filling, I always say, where there's lack, you will fill the gaps with food. Food is filling a lot of gaps in life. So if your life is not full, if you are not as happy, if you are not showing up, if you're not fully expressed, if you don't have deep relationships, if there are things that you're missing in your life, right? Essentially, we could say where the voids are, where the lack is, you will fill those gaps with food, okay? So we have to be able to look at those areas and go, okay, what needs to change here? So this is really looking at your life in a different way. And that's the only way, the holistic way is the way to fully get to the other side, because we have to look at everything that's contributing to what you put in your mouth and to your belief systems, okay? Step 3 that we want to do here is really start to go, do I believe that I can lose weight and that it can be easy? Do I believe that I can lose weight and it can be easy? The 4th step, what stories do I have around weight loss? What stories do I have? What stories have I created? That it's hard, that I can't do it, that I could never have that body, that I'm always going to struggle, that this is just who I am? Do you say the story like I've been overweight my whole life, right? Like no matter what I've tried, it doesn't work. I've been fat since I was a baby, right? This is my thing. Everyone in my family's overweight, or everyone isn't, and I'm the one that is always struggling. I'm the black sheep. There's stories. Right? There's stories, because if we are still struggling with our weight, then we're living into stories. And we have 60,000 thoughts on repeat a day that are negative. We actually have 80,000, 60,000 of them are negative. So we have to start to look at what are our stories, what's our belief system. I know right away you want to go right into like, just tell me what to eat and I'll do it. And that's not my jam. You can go on YouTube and you can Google like an eating plan and you can have your grilled chicken and broccoli. It might momentarily have your weight change, but you will inevitably go back to your old ways of being unless you actually go to this place. We have to unpack what the beliefs are behind who you are. Because in order to get to where you want to be, in order to get to the other side, and this is why so many women lose the weight and gain it back again. Lose the weight. I've had clients that have lost 100 pounds and gained it back again. 10 pounds and gain it back again. The perpetual 10 or 5, right? And then they come to me and they're just like, okay, I'll finally try your method, right? Because they're just like, I've tried everything else. I'm basically hopeless at this point, but you've done it and I see your clients have done it. So what the hell? And they take that leap of faith and it works out for them. Thank God. Right. And I mean, thank God for them, not thank God. I believe my program is the most badass thing ever. But what I will say is this is the work that I had to do. This is my proven MK method and it works. So I want to give you these pieces so you can start to do this for yourself. So you can actually start to take the time and make sense of what keeps pulling you back, because you will continue to gain the weight if you don't shift your internal. You have to do the internal to get the external result. So if you've been struggling with your weight and you keep going back to it and you can't seem to get to where you want to be, have we looked at our belief system? Do we actually believe we can do it? Because if not, then you will continue to sabotage yourself because your actual being doesn't believe that. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is, what do you think is going to change when you lose this weight? I see this time and time again where clients, like, I'll be talking to them and they're like, everything, like my life is going to become this magical, it's going to be like a unicorn transformation and everything that's been unhappy is going to become amazing. And it's like, no, if your relationship is struggling, it's still going to be struggling. You're not all of a sudden going to become happy, right? It's like all of these things aren't going to clear up. So what weight are you putting on your weight? What weight are you putting on your weight? This is really important to start to understand. Because if you're putting a ton of attention and energy on like, oh, this is the thing that needs to be fixed. And I often see this because a lot of my clients are highly successful, ambitious women. And every area of their life, they have achieved immense success. And their weight is like their Achilles heel. They just cannot seem to get around it. And it's because of these belief systems. It's because of the emphasis. And the very last piece that I will say to this, because I know this is a lot to do in one sitting, but take the time. This will start to open up your mind to a new way. And trust me, from there, you will start to make different choices. Pair this with my weight loss hypnosis on YouTube to support you in this beginning process. Now, the last thing that I will say to you, and I can put that link below, the last thing that I will say to you is when you're really looking at this, look at the ways that you use food to cope with life. Do you look forward to eat your meal at the end of the day? Are you sitting there waiting for your dessert? Is that your only escape? Is that your time? Is that your way of dealing with boredom? Are you lonely? Are you bored in life? Are you not fully expressed? Are you depleted? And this is your way of giving back to you. This is your treat. Right? Start to notice, what is your relationship with food? We did this in my 5-day food freedom challenge, right? What is your relationship with food? And I said that was the last, but the last that I will say is this. When we're looking at what weight are we putting on the weight, I really want you to understand that you can lose this weight. This weight does not define you. It only defines you if you continue to allow it to. There is nothing outside of you, nothing that you can't be, do, or have. If you desire to have this weight off of you, it is done. It is done. The only thing that's missing is your physical being, right? And your belief system is not aligned to actually believe it's possible. Therefore, the actions to get you there aren't happening. Right? That's what shifts. When our subconscious beliefs, when we actually get aligned, then we start going in the direction of the thing that we're wanting. But we can't get to where we want to be from our current operating system. I was just doing this in my Ultimate Queens group. We were upgrading our system. We like literally went through an energetic upgrade because these women cannot achieve this greatness and their next level dreams, right, from their current state of being. It's from who they're going to be that they, right? So we have to operate as that person. And there's different methods and ways in which to do that. So right now, in the most simplest way, as you're not in a program with me and I can't continue to what have you, like check in the accountability that I do in the groups, but you are in this group. And what I want to say to you and wholeness is this is the first step to becoming whole. It's healing our relationship with food in our bodies. It's being in that space where we go, okay, I like me and I like being in this body, right? And you're going to hear me talk about this in the Wholeness podcast this week, really about discerning energies and understanding what energy is yours and what's other people's. Because it's really powerful that once you get so connected to your body, you are such a fine-tuned compass that you know when you're starting to get sick, you know what caused it, you know how to heal it, you know what your body's craving, you know exactly how much food you need, you know what foods help you lose, you know which ones to stay away from. Your body is an amazing, epic, golden compass to your happiness and healing, but we have to connect to it. So just like at the beginning of this video, when I was saying to you in this mini little training here, what I was saying to you is, are you connected? It is imperative that we get into that space. So when we're saying, do you love you? And many women always just flat come right back. And I did too. Oh, of course I do. Yeah, no, I love me. But if I looked at my actions, I wasn't connected to me at all. I didn't love me. I didn't look at myself in the mirror. I didn't say kind things to myself. I told myself what I wanted it to eat based off the result that I wanted. I told myself how I wanted it to move based off the result that I wanted, regardless of if my body was tired, regardless of how much I had fueled my body that day, whether or not my body was starving and sitting there like, we haven't even eaten yet and we've been at the gym for 2 hours, right? I was dictating it all and not from a place of love. And then I was expecting to have this result that would want to stick around, right? Our bodies are hearing and receiving everything we're giving it. So we want to really look at, am I loving me? And what am I doing here, right? What's up, Jennifer and Valerie, guys? So it's very, very important that we're in and we're approaching this process from a holistic standpoint, because I've found, and I've been doing this work for over a decade, and I found it with myself, you can do all the surface stuff, and you can read all the books, and you can do all the diets, and you can sit there and say all the things. But if you have been struggling for more than a year and you consistently have it, and it's something that's taking your energy and making you feel less than, then there is a disconnect. And there is a part of you that does not believe that you are deserving and worthy or enough. And you don't actually believe that you can have the body that you want, and definitely not easily and without struggle and deprivation. And when we think that we need to deprive ourselves into the thing that we want, or restrict ourselves into the thing that we want, or that we need to control ourselves to have the thing that we want and be in isolation to have the thing that we want, which is what dieters do, then you are not connected to a higher power, and you are sure as hell not connected to yourself. Because the body that you want, weight loss is not hard, lady loves. It is not hard at all. And you are all meant to have a body, and you are all meant to have the most epic body that you've ever desired, right? It is your divine right. And to believe anything less than is doing yourself a disservice. But not connecting in and having faith and turning things over to a higher power other than yourself and asking for that guidance and for that healing and for that support is, again, making it very hard on you. You are not God, and you cannot control everything. So notice where you're wanting to control everything and how much pleasure is missing from your life. That is the number one way to know if you are living devoid of pleasure. And I can tell you this, if you are living devoid of pleasure, then you're definitely getting it from food. And it's going to be really hard to break up with food and not go back and find yourself overeating or self-sabotage yourself and find yourself in those constant dieting cycles. If that is your primary source of pleasure, if that is your primary source of fun, if that is your primary source of comfort and security, you are that to yourself. That's what a soulmate is, a mating of the soul, right? So I just really wanted to support all of you that have been messaging me, just saying like, how did you get to the other side? What were the beginning steps to do? I know that this is not like, hey, for the next 5 days, eat only grilled chicken and broccoli, and then have this juice, and then this is this magic pill. I always combine the actual inner work with the tactical things that are needed. But I can tell you this, when you start to shift internally, your external action actions change, and so does your body. And it is not hard, and it is easy. And the women in my programs can attest to this. So I hope that this supported you. Please let me know if you have any questions. I really, again, this is the number one first pillar in the journey to wholeness. And this is such a pivotal piece for women to fully love and accept themselves and to embody their full power and show up so brightly in life and shine their gifts. It's that partnering with oneself and starting to go, I'm not going to reject me anymore. I'm not going to reject me. I'm going to tap in. I'm going to be with me. Hand on heart, hand on belly, body. What is it you need from me? And go through, watch this video as many times as you need, and go and ask yourself those questions and let me know what you find. I hope that this spoke to you today. I love you so much. And I'm here in love, support, and service always. And such gratitude for you. Bye, ladies. Have a beautiful Sunday.